They said I was nobody, just another girl who didn't matter. But the day Kwame Mensah cornered me behind the science block and whispered, "You're stronger than you think, Amma," everything changed. This is the story of how a quiet girl from Accra became the person everyone underestimated. And trust me, you won't believe what happens when the school's biggest rebel falls for the invisible girl. My name is Amma Owusu, and 6 months ago I couldn't even look people in the eye. I was the girl who ate lunch alone, who got her drawings ruined by bullies, who lived in the shadow of her perfect siblings. But then 3 things happened that turned my world upside down. I joined the art club where I fell for the most talented boy in school. I caught the attention of Kwame Mensah, the troublemaker every girl wanted but no one could tame. And I discovered that the person I'd been hiding from all along was myself. By the end of the story, you'll see how I went from being robbed and humiliated to standing up to everyone who ever made me feel small. You'll witness the moment I had to choose between 2 boys who saw me when no one else did. And you'll find out whether a girl like me could ever become the person she dreamed of being. But first, let me take you back to the worst day of my life. The bathroom at Achimota Secondary School smelled like cheap perfume and regret. I was fixing my head wrap in the cracked mirror when they walked in, Ajoa, Efua, and their gang of perfectly made-up mean girls who made it their mission to remind me I didn't belong. Look who's here, Ajoa sneered, her Kent-patterned bag swinging as she blocked the exit. The ghost girl trying to look pretty. My heart hammered against my ribs. I tried to slip past them, but Efua grabbed my arm. "Not so fast, Amma. I heard you've been drawing pictures of people. Show us your sketchbook. Please, I need to get to class," I stammered. Wrong answer. Before I could react, they yanked my bag away, spilling my pencils and papers across the wet floor. My sketchbook, the one place where I poured my heart, where I drew the world as I wished it could be, landed in a puddle. Ajoa picked it up, flipping through pages of portraits, landscapes, and dreams. Then she did something I'll never forget. She pulled out a marker and started drawing crude stick figures over my work, laughing as she ruined hours of careful shading. "This is what your art is really worth," she said, tossing it back to me. They left me there on my knees, gathering soggy papers while tears mixed with dirty water. But the worst part, someone had filmed it. By lunch, the video was everywhere. Amma the art failure gets a reality check. I wanted to disappear, to melt into the tiles and never exist again. That's when I heard footsteps behind me. "You going to let them treat you like that?" I spun around to find Kwame Mensah leaning against the doorframe, his school uniform somehow looking both rebellious and perfect. Everyone knew Kwame, the boy who'd been suspended twice, who rode a motorcycle to school, who had a reputation for fighting anyone who crossed him. And he was looking at me. I managed. He walked closer, and I noticed something strange. His eyes weren't mocking. They were angry. But not at me. Those girls. You just let them walk all over you. Why? It's not that simple. "It is," he interrupted. "You think you're weak, so you act weak. They smell that fear on you like dogs." His words stung worse than Ajoa's insults because they were true. I was afraid. Of everything. "What do you want from me?" I whispered. Kwame crouched down to my level, picking up one of my ruined drawings, a portrait of the school courtyard at sunset. Despite the marker scribbles, you could still see the detail, the life I'd breathed into it. "You drew this." His voice softened. I nodded. "You're talented, Amma. But talent means nothing if you let people crush it." He handed the drawing back. "Next time I come for you, I want you to look them dead in the eye and tell them to back off. Can you do that?" I wanted to say yes. I wanted to be brave. But all I could do was shake my head. Kwame sighed, standing up. "Then I guess you'll keep getting stepped on." He turned to leave, then paused. "The art club meets every Thursday in Building C. You should go. Not everyone there is a coward." And just like that, Kwame Mensah, the boy everyone feared, planted a seed in my mind that would change everything. I told myself I wouldn't go to the art club. I told myself I didn't need more humiliation. But Thursday came, and something pulled me toward Building C like a magnet. The room was bright, filled with easels, paint-splattered tables, and the smell of turpentine. Students were scattered around, some painting, others sketching. And there, near the window with sunlight catching his profile like something out of a movie, was Kofi Asante. Time stopped. Kofi was a legend at Achimota. Senior year, fine arts track, winner of every competition he entered. His paintings hung in the principal's office. Galleries in Accra knew his name. And he was beautiful in that effortless way that made you forget how to breathe. Tall, dark-skinned with artist fingers, and eyes that seemed to see beyond the surface of things. I'd admired him from afar for months. Never spoke to him. Never dared to. "You must be the new member." A cheerful voice broke my trance. A girl with short natural hair and paint-stained overalls bounded over. "I'm a Kojua, but everyone calls me Kosi." "Welcome. We've been waiting for fresh blood." She grinned. "What's your focus? Painting? Sculpture? Charcoal?" I mostly sketch," I mumbled, clutching my damaged sketchbook. "Perfect. Kofi's our resident drawing master. He'll help you out." Before I could protest, Kosi dragged me across the room. Kofi, come meet our newest artist. And suddenly, I was standing face to face with the boy I'd been dreaming about for months. Up close, he was even more devastating. Warm brown eyes crinkled with kindness as he smiled at me. Hey, I'm Kofi. Don't let Kosi's energy scare you off. We're actually pretty chill here. His voice was smooth, gentle. Everything Kwame's wasn't. Hey, Ama, I stuttered. I'm Ama. Beautiful name. He gestured to an empty easel. Want to show me what you're working on? My hands trembled as I opened my sketchbook, revealing the damaged pages. Kofi's expression shifted from curiosity to concern. What happened here? It's nothing. Just an accident. But Kofi wasn't fooled. He carefully turned the pages, studying each drawing despite the vandalism. When he reached my sunset courtyard sketch, he paused. Ama, this is incredible. The way you capture the light, the shadows, you have a real gift for observation. He looked up at me. Who did this to your book? The genuine care in his voice almost broke me. Nobody had ever asked me that. Nobody had ever cared. Some girls at school, I admitted quietly. Kofi's jaw tightened. That's not okay. Art should be respected, and so should artists. He pulled out a fresh sketchbook from a supply cabinet. Here. This is yours now. Start fresh. And Ama. He met my eyes. Don't let anyone make you feel small. You belong here. In that moment, I fell completely, hopelessly in love with Kofi Asandi. But the universe had other plans. The next day, I was walking to class when Kwame appeared beside me, matching my pace. So you went to the art club, he said. Not a question. How did you? I know everything that happens in this school. He smirked. Did you stand up for yourself yet? It's not that easy. It's exactly that easy. He stopped walking, forcing me to face him. Look, Ama, I'm going to make you a deal. I'll teach you how to be tough, how to make people think twice before messing with you. But you have to actually try. Why do you even care? I blurted out. Something flickered in Kwame's eyes, something vulnerable that disappeared as quickly as it came. Because I'm tired of watching good people get crushed by bullies. Because, he hesitated. Because maybe I see something in you that you don't see in yourself yet. My heart did a strange flip. This wasn't supposed to happen. I liked Kofi. Sweet, talented, perfect Kofi who treated me like I mattered. Kwame was trouble. Everyone said so. But when he looked at me like that, like I was a puzzle he wanted to solve, I felt something dangerous stirring inside me. Fine, I heard myself say. Teach me. Kwame's grin was pure mischief. Meet me behind the sports field after school. And Ama, we're something you don't mind getting dirty. That afternoon, I discovered Kwame's teaching method was unconventional. Stand like you mean it, he instructed, positioning my shoulders back. Bullies target posture first. You walk around like you're apologizing for existing. We were in a secluded area behind the sports complex, away from prying eyes. Kwame circled me like a coach evaluating an athlete. Now, I'm going to insult you, and you're going to fight back. Not physically, with words. I can't. You're pathetic, Ama. No wonder everyone walks all over you. The words hit like a slap, but instead of crumbling, something inside me snapped. Don't talk to me like that, I said, my voice stronger than I expected. Louder. Make me believe it. I said don't talk to me like that. The words exploded out of me, surprising us both. Kwame's face broke into the first genuine smile I'd seen from him. There she is. There's the Ama who's been hiding. We spent an hour practicing responses, body language, presence. Kwame was relentless but patient, pushing me past my comfort zone again and again. As the sun began setting, painting the sky orange and purple, Kwame sat down on the grass, motioning for me to join him. Can I ask you something? I ventured, sitting beside him but maintaining careful distance. Shoot! Why are you really helping me? What do you get out of this? Kwame plucked at the grass, not meeting my eyes. You remind me of someone. My younger sister, Ajoa. Different Ajoa, not the one who bullies you. His voice grew quieter. She was gentle, creative, kind. And people took advantage of that until she stopped being any of those things. What happened to her? She changed. Became hard. Mean. Everything she wasn't supposed to be. He finally looked at me. When I saw you in that bathroom, I saw her. Before everything went wrong. And I thought, maybe if someone had helped her stand up for herself the right way, she'd still be the sister I remember. The vulnerability in his confession caught me off guard. This wasn't the rebel everyone feared. This was a boy carrying his own scars. I'm sorry, I whispered. Don't be sorry. Just promise me you'll keep showing up. Keep fighting. I promise. Kwame stood, offering me his hand. When I took it, he pulled me up with surprising gentleness. Same time tomorrow, he asked. I nodded. As I walked home that evening, I didn't notice the figure watching us from the sports building window. Ajoa, my Ajoa, the bully, with her phone out, recording everything. The next 2 weeks became a blur of double lives. In the art club, I blossomed under Kofi's guidance. He taught me perspective, showed me how to blend shadows, praised every small improvement. We'd stay late, working side by side while he told me about his dreams of studying art in Paris, his love for Impressionism, his belief that art could change the world. Every smile he gave me felt like sunlight. But after art club, I'd meet Kwame for our training sessions. He taught me how to project confidence, how to read people, how to turn fear into power. We'd talk about everything: his troubled family, my overbearing mother, our shared feeling of never quite fitting in. Every conversation with him felt like lightning. I was falling for both of them, in completely different ways. Kofi was the dream. Safe, inspiring, everything I thought I wanted. Kwame was the storm. Dangerous, real, everything I didn't know I needed. Then the art club announced our first group project. Pairs would create collaborative pieces for the school's annual exhibition. "Ama, you'll work with Kofi," Kosi announced. "Our two best sketchers together. This will be amazing." My heart soared. 2 weeks of working closely with Kofi. It was perfect. But Kwame had other ideas. "I'm joining the art club," he announced the next day, walking into our Thursday meeting like he owned the place. Everyone stared. Kwame Mensah didn't do art. He did motorcycles and trouble. "Kwame, this is a surprise," our faculty advisor, Ms. Mensah, said carefully. "What brings you here?" "Expanding my horizons," he said smoothly, his eyes finding mine. "Plus, I hear you have talented members. I want to learn." Kofi stepped forward, extending his hand. "Welcome. Always room for new artists." The handshake between them crackled with tension I didn't understand yet. "Actually," Kwame continued, "I'd like to partner with Ama for the project. Since I'm new, I could use someone patient to show me the ropes." My stomach dropped. Everyone turned to look at me, Kofi's face showing surprise and something that might have been disappointment. I'm already partnered with Kofi," I managed. "We can switch," Kosi offered, ever helpful. "I'll work with Kofi. You help Kwame get adjusted." No. This wasn't how it was supposed to go. But before I could protest, Ms. Mensah was rearranging the partnerships, and suddenly my dream scenario had been hijacked by the boy who was becoming impossible to categorize as just a friend. After the meeting, Kofi caught my arm gently. "Hey, I'm sorry about the switch. I was looking forward to working with you." His disappointment was genuine. "Me too," I admitted. "But Kwame's a good guy deep down. He just has his own way of doing things." Kofi smiled, though it didn't quite reach his eyes. "Take care of yourself, okay, Ama? Some people burn bright, but burn you in the process." Was he warning me about Kwame? Or was something else happening here? That evening, reality crashed back in the form of my mother. I came home to find her sitting at our small dining table, my report card in front of her. My older brother Kweku's medical school acceptance letter sat beside it. My sister Abina's law firm job offer was there too. Then there was my card. All B's and C's, except for an A in art. "Ama, sit down." My mother said in that tone that meant trouble. I sat. "Your siblings are making something of themselves. Kweku will be a doctor. Abina is a lawyer. And you." She gestured at my grades. "You're barely passing, wasting time drawing pictures. Art is not a waste. Art doesn't pay bills." Her voice rose. "Art doesn't bring honor to this family. You think you can survive in Ghana as an artist? You think your drawings will put food on the table?" Tears burned my eyes, but I refused to let them fall. "Not here. Not in front of her. I'm good at art, Mama. My teacher says." "I don't care what your teacher says. I care that you're throwing away your future." She stood up, towering over me. "You will focus on your studies. No more art club. No more wasting time. You will bring your grades up, or I will pull you from that school entirely and send you to your grandmother's village." The threat hung in the air like a guillotine. "But Mama, the exhibition." "No exhibitions. No art. Do you understand me?" I understood. I understood that she would never see me. Never value what I loved. Never believe I could be anything other than a disappointment. I ran to my room and cried into my pillow until I had no tears left. The next day at school, I was a ghost again. "Hello." Empty. Kwame noticed immediately. "What happened?" he demanded during lunch, cornering me by the library. "Nothing." "Liar. Talk to me." So I told him. About my mother. About the ultimatum. About feeling like I was drowning in everyone's expectations. Kwame's jaw clenched. "You're not quitting art club. I don't have a choice. There's always a choice. You're just scared to make it." His bluntness stung. "Easy for you to say. You don't care what anyone thinks." "You're right. I don't. And you know why? Because I learned that living for other people's approval is a prison." He gripped my shoulders, forcing me to look at him. "Ama, you're the most talented person in that club. You have something real. Don't let your mother's fear kill your dreams. She'll send me away. Then you fight. You show her you're serious. You get your grades up and keep doing art. You prove her wrong." His intensity was overwhelming. "Or you can roll over and become another person who gave up on themselves. Your choice." Something in his words, in the fierce belief in his eyes, reignited a spark I thought had died. "How?" I whispered. "How do I do both?" "I'll help you. We'll study together. I'll tutor you in the subjects you're weak in. A small smile played on his lips. I'm not just a pretty face, you know. I'm actually smart when I want to be. Why would you do that for me? Kwame's expression softened into something that made my heart race. Because you matter, Amma. More than you know. The moment stretched between us, charged with something I wasn't ready to name. Then Kofi's voice broke the spell. Everything okay here? We jumped apart. Kofi stood a few feet away, carrying his art supplies, his expression unreadable. Yeah, we're fine, Kwame said, his guard instantly back up. But Kofi was looking at me, concern evident. Amma, I heard about your mom. If you need someone to talk to, she's got it handled. Kwame interrupted. I was asking Amma, not you. The tension between them crystallized into something sharp and territorial. I'm fine, I said quickly, desperately wanting to defuse whatever was happening. Really? Thank you both. Kofi nodded slowly. The offer stands. Anytime. He walked away, but not before giving Kwame a look I couldn't decipher. What was that about? I asked. Kwame shrugged. Nothing. Come on, we have studying to do. The next week tested every ounce of my newfound strength. Ajoa and her crew escalated their campaign. They accidentally spilled paint on my uniform. They spread rumors I was sleeping with both Kofi and Kwame. They photoshopped my face onto embarrassing images and shared them online. But something had changed in me. Each time they attacked, I remembered Kwame's training. I held my head high. I looked them in the eye. I didn't give them the fear they craved. It was working. They were getting frustrated. Then came the day everything exploded. I was at my locker when Ajoa approached with her whole gang. Heard your mother thinks you're a failure, she said loud enough for everyone to hear. Can't say I disagree. What kind of pathetic girl thinks she can be an artist? The hallway went quiet. Everyone waited for me to crumble like always. But I didn't. I turned to face her, shoulders back, chin up, exactly like Kwame taught me. What kind of pathetic girl peaks in high school by bullying people? I said clearly. What are you going to do after graduation, Ajoa? When there's no one left to intimidate? When you actually have to have a personality beyond being mean? Gasps rippled through the crowd. Ajoa's face turned purple with rage. You little! She raised her hand. But before she could strike, Kwame was there, catching her wrist. I wouldn't, he said quietly, dangerously. This doesn't concern you, Kwame. Everything concerning Amma concerns me. His voice dropped lower. Touch her, and you'll regret it. Then Kofi appeared on my other side, his usually gentle face hard with anger. Bullying ends now, Ajoa. All of it. Or we take this to the principal with evidence. Yes, we've been collecting evidence. Ajoa looked between them, realizing she was outmatched. With a final glare at me, she stalked off, her gang following. The hallway erupted in whispers. I stood there, shaking with adrenaline, flanked by two boys who just defended me like I was worth fighting for. You okay? They both asked simultaneously, then glanced at each other with something like rivalry. I'm okay, I breathed. I'm actually okay. For the first time in my life, I believed it. That afternoon, the art club felt different. Lighter. Like I'd shed a heavy coat I'd been wearing for years. Kwame and I worked on our project, a mixed media piece combining my sketches with a surprisingly good abstract painting. Turns out he wasn't lying about having talent. You were amazing today, he said quietly, adding bold strokes to our canvas. I had good teachers. No, that was all you. I just reminded you who you already were. He set down his brush, turning to face me fully. Amma, I need to tell you something. My heart stopped. These past few weeks, getting to know you, watching you transform. He ran a hand through his hair, uncharacteristically nervous. You're not just some project to me. You're not just my sister's ghost. You're you. And you're incredible. Kwame, I'm not good with words like Kofi. I can't paint you pretty pictures about love and art. But I know that when I'm with you, I feel like maybe I'm not just the screw-up everyone thinks I am. You make me want to be better. He stepped closer, and I could smell his cologne mixed with paint thinner. I think I'm falling for you, Amma. Actually, scratch that, I've already fallen. Time stopped. The world reduced to his dark eyes, his nervous hope, the way my heart was hammering against my ribs. But before I could respond, Kofi's voice cut through the moment. Amma, can I talk to you? Privately. Kwame's jaw tightened, but he stepped back. Go ahead. I'll be here when you're done. I followed Kofi outside to the courtyard, my mind spinning. I've been wanting to say something for a while, Kofi began, his hands shoved in his pockets. Watching you grow, seeing your confidence bloom, it's been incredible. You've become an amazing artist and an even better person. He took a breath. And I think I'm falling for you, Amma. I know I'm your senior. I know I'll be leaving for university soon. But these feelings, they're real. You're special. Kofi, stop. He looked at me, surprised. My brain was short-circuiting. Both of them, both of these incredible, complicated, wonderful boys wanted me. Invisible, bullied, broken Amma. I need time, I managed. I need I can't think straight right now. Kofi nodded, though disappointment shadowed his features. I understand. Take all the time you need. Just know that regardless of what you decide, you'll always have my support. He walked back inside, leaving me alone with the biggest choice of my life. That night, I couldn't sleep. My phone buzzed with messages from both of them. Kwame sending memes to make me laugh, Kofi sharing song recommendations. Two boys. Two completely different futures. Kofi represented everything I thought I wanted. Stability, artistic partnership, a gentle love that felt safe. He'd graduate, study abroad, become someone important. Loving him meant stepping into a bigger world. Kwame represented everything I'd been taught to fear. Unpredictability, passion, a fierce love that felt like fire. He'd probably stay in Ghana, fight his own battles, forge his own path. Loving him meant embracing the storm. But the real question wasn't who I should choose. It was who I was becoming. The girl who wanted safety, or the girl who was learning to be brave. My mother's voice echoed in my head. Art won't feed you. Ajoa's cruelty replayed. You're nobody. But then I heard Kwame's fierce belief. You matter. And Kofi's gentle encouragement. You have a real gift. I pulled out my new sketchbook and started drawing. My hands moved across the page, creating a portrait I'd never attempted before. A portrait of myself. Not as I was, small, scared, invisible, but as I was becoming, strong, creative, seen. The girl in my drawing looked back at me with knowing eyes, as if to say, choose yourself first. The rest will follow. So what happened next? Did I choose Kofi or Kwame? Did my mother ever accept my art? Did I finally become the person I was meant to be? But before we get there, I need you to do something for me. If this story is hitting you in the feels, if you're rooting for Ama, if you can't wait to see how this unfolds, smash that subscribe button right now. Drop a like if you've ever felt invisible. And comment below, Team Kofi or Team Kwame. Let me know who you think Ama should choose. The morning of the exhibition, I woke up to 17 missed calls from my mother. She'd found out. Someone, probably a concerned teacher or nosy neighbor, had told her about the art show. About how I'd been attending club meetings despite her orders. About the piece Kwame and I were unveiling today. I stared at my phone, watching it ring again. My finger hovered over the answer button, but I couldn't do it. Not yet. Today was too important. The exhibition was everything I dreamed of and everything I feared. Our school courtyard had been transformed into a gallery, white tents housing student artwork, teachers and parents wandering between displays with wine glasses and impressed murmurs. The whole community had turned out. Local artists, journalists from Accra, even a scout from the National Museum. I arrived early, my heart a drumbeat against my ribs. Kwame was already there, adjusting our piece on its stand. When he saw me, his face lit up in that way that made my stomach flip. There's my partner, he said, stepping back to admire our work. Ready to blow everyone's minds. Our piece was a collision of styles, my detailed pencil sketches of everyday Ghanaian life, layered beneath Kwame's bold, chaotic brushstrokes that represented the violence and beauty of transformation. We called it breaking through. Looking at it now, I realized it was my story. Our story. Kwame, about what you said yesterday. I started. Don't. He held up a hand. Not now. After the show, after everything settles, we'll talk. No pressure. I just needed you to know the truth. Before I could respond, Kofi appeared carrying a garment bag. Ama, there you are. He smiled, that gentle smile that still made me weak. I brought something for you. For tonight. He unzipped the bag to reveal a stunning Kent pattern dress, traditional yet modern, the kind of thing an artist would wear to her first major showing. Kofi, I can't accept this. You can and you will. You're about to show the whole city what you're capable of. You should look the part. His eyes held mine. You're going to be amazing tonight. I believe in you. Kwame's jaw tightened, but he said nothing. The tension between them was a living thing, crackling in the air. I'll help you set up your solo piece, Kofi said pointedly to me, leading me away from Kwame. The one you've been working on in your spare time. My solo piece. I'd been keeping it secret from everyone, working on it late at night in my room. It was a massive charcoal drawing, nearly 6 feet tall, depicting a girl breaking free from shadows that had faces, my mother's disappointment, Ajoa's cruelty, my own fear. Above her, light streamed down like a promise. I titled it Scene. As Kofi and I positioned it on the largest display wall, he spoke quietly. I'm leaving for Paris in 3 months. I got the scholarship. My heart sank and soared simultaneously. Kofi, that's incredible. Come with me. I froze. What? Not now, obviously. Finish school. But in 2 years, apply to the same program. We could study together, build our careers side by side. He turned to face me fully. I know this is fast. I know I'm asking a lot. But Ama, when I look at you, I see my future. Someone who understands his passion, who speaks the same language of color and line and feeling. It was everything I'd fantasized about. Paris. Art school. A life with someone who valued my dreams. So why did it feel like something was missing? I need to think, I began, but then I heard a voice that made my blood run cold. So this is where you've been sneaking off to? My mother stood at the entrance of the exhibition space, wearing her church clothes and the expression of barely contained rage. Behind her, my siblings Kweku and Abina looked uncomfortable, like they'd been dragged here against their will. The world tilted. Kofi touched my arm. Do you want me to? No. This is my fight. The words came out stronger than I felt. I walked toward my mother, aware that people were starting to stare. Ms. Mensah, our faculty advisor, moved to intercept, but I shook my head. This had been coming for weeks, months, maybe my whole life. Mama, I said quietly. You came. I came to collect my disobedient daughter. We're leaving. Now. Her voice carried across the courtyard. I'm not leaving. This is my exhibition. I worked hard for this. Her eyes flashed. You defied me. You lied to me. You embarrassed this family. How? The word burst out of me, loud enough to turn heads. How did I embarrass you? By being good at something. By finding something I love? By refusing to be miserable just to make you comfortable. My mother's face hardened. You will not speak to me this way. Then when will you listen? Tears burned my eyes, but I didn't let them fall. I've spent my whole life trying to be Kweku and Abina. Trying to be the daughter you wanted. But I'm not them. I'm me. And I'm good at this, Mama. I'm really good at this. I gestured wildly at the artwork around us. These people see it. My teachers see it. Even strangers see it. Why can't you? For a moment, just a flash, something soft crossed my mother's face. Uncertainty. Maybe even pride. But then her walls went back up. Art is not a future. It's a hobby. A distraction. It's my life, I said firmly. And I'm not giving it up. Not for you. Not for anyone. The silence was deafening. My mother stared at me like she was seeing a stranger. Maybe she was. Then Kweku stepped forward, surprising everyone. Mama, let her show you her work. Please. I've seen some of it. Amma's incredibly talented. You knew about this? My mother turned her fury on him. We both did. Abina added, moving beside our brother. Mama, Amma's not like us. She shouldn't have to be. Let her be great at what she's meant to do. I'd never loved my siblings more than in that moment. My mother looked between us, her children united against her fears. Something in her posture shifted. Not defeat exactly, but a kind of exhausted resignation. Fine. Show me. Show me what's so important you defy your own mother. I led her to my solo piece first, the one that laid my soul bare. She stood in front of scene for what felt like hours, her expression unreadable. Then she moved to the piece Kwame and I created, studying the layers of pain and breakthrough and beauty. Who helped you with this? She asked quietly. Kwame Mensah. He's the troublemaker. I've heard about him. She turned to look at me. Why him? Because he saw me when I was invisible. Because he taught me to fight. Because I swallowed hard. Because he believed I was worth something. My mother's eyes glistened, with tears, anger. I couldn't tell. And the other boy? The one who gave you the dress. Kofi. He's my mentor. He wants me to follow him to Paris. Paris. My mother laughed, but it wasn't cruel. It was sad. Lost. My daughter wants to go to Paris to paint pictures. Yes, I said simply. That's exactly what I want. She looked at me for a long moment, really looked like she was trying to find the little girl she'd raised in this stranger standing before her. I don't understand you, Amma, she said finally. But I see that you've already decided. You're not asking for permission anymore. No, I'm not. She nodded slowly. Your father would have understood. He was a dreamer too. Her voice cracked slightly. I've spent so long trying to keep you safe from disappointment, I forgot that some people need to fly to survive. Was she giving me her blessing? In her own complicated way. I can't promise I'll support this. I can't promise I won't worry myself sick. But she reached out, touching my face with unexpected tenderness. I'll try to see you. Really see you. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't even close to what I'd hoped for. But it was a start. My mother left with my siblings, and I stood there shaking with adrenaline and relief and a dozen other emotions I couldn't name. Then Kwame was beside me, solid and real. You did it, he said quietly. You stood your ground. We did it. I couldn't have gotten here without you. He smiled, but there was something bittersweet in it. So, Paris with Kofi. That's a pretty incredible offer. Kwame. It's okay. Really. He can give you things I can't. A future. Stability. An escape from all of this. He gestured vaguely at the school, the city, the life that had been so cruel to both of us. I'd never ask you to give that up for me. But here's what I'd learned in the past few weeks. Sometimes the safe choice isn't the right choice. Sometimes you have to choose the person who makes you brave instead of the person who makes you comfortable. What if I don't want to escape? I said. What if I want to stay and fight and build something real right here? Kwame's eyes widened. What are you saying? I'm saying Kofi is amazing. I'm saying Paris sounds like a dream. But Kwame, when I'm with you, I don't feel like I need to escape to be happy. You make me feel like I can be powerful right where I am. Amma, don't choose me out of gratitude. I'm not. I'm choosing you because when I imagine my future, you're in it. Not as the person who saved me, but as the person who fights beside me. As my equal. My partner. He kissed me before I could finish, and the world exploded into light and sound and feeling. His hands were in my hair, mine were gripping his shirt, and for the first time in my life, I felt completely, totally seen. When we finally broke apart, breathless and grinning like idiots, I saw Kofi watching from across the courtyard. The heartbreak on his face nearly undid me. I need to talk to him, I said. Kwame nodded. Go. I'll be here when you're done. Always. I found Kofi by the punch table, staring into his cup like it held answers. I'm sorry, I said without preamble. Don't be. I saw the way you looked at him. The way he looks at you. Kofi's smile was sad but genuine. I thought maybe we could be something. But you can't choose someone just because they make sense on paper. You're incredible, Kofi. You're going to do amazing things in Paris. So are you. Just here instead. He took a deep breath. I hope he knows how lucky he is. I hope Paris knows how lucky it is, I countered. We hugged, and it felt like closure. Like two people who cared about each other accepting that caring wasn't always enough. As the night wore on, something magical happened. People started gathering around my work. First a few, then dozens. The museum scout spent 20 minutes studying scene, taking notes. A journalist interviewed me about my process, my inspiration, my plans. And then the announcement came. The winner of this year's Young Artist Award, including a cash prize and mentorship program with the National Museum, goes to Ama Owusu for her piece Scene. The applause was thunderous. Kwame lifted me off my feet, spinning me around while I laughed and cried simultaneously. Kosi was screaming. Ms. Mensah looked proud enough to burst. As I accepted the award, holding the certificate and checked that represented validation I'd never dared dream of, I looked out at the crowd. My mother had come back. She was standing at the edge, not applauding but not leaving either. Watching. Trying. It was enough. That night, after the exhibition closed and the crowds dispersed, Kwame and I sat on the school's roof, legs dangling over the edge, looking at a cross lights sprawling below us. So what now? He asked, our hands intertwined between us. Now I finish school. I keep making art. I build a career here in Ghana. I lean my head on his shoulder. And you're going to stop pretending you're just a troublemaker and show everyone the brilliant person I know you are. Is that an order? Level up. We both become the people we're meant to be. Kwame kissed my temple. You know what's funny? Everyone thought I was helping you. Teaching you. But Amma, you saved me too. You reminded me that people can change, that fighting doesn't always mean fists, that being vulnerable isn't weakness. We saved each other, I said simply. And we had. Not in some dramatic, fairy tale way, but in the quiet, powerful way that happens when two broken people decide to be brave together. The next Monday at school, Ajoa tried one last time to intimidate me in the hallway. But this time, I didn't need Kwame or Kofi or anyone else to defend me. I walked right up to her, looked her dead in the eye, and said, I won the Young Artist Award. I'm going to have my work displayed in the National Museum. And you're still here, picking on people because you're too scared to find out who you are without your cruelty. I almost feel sorry for you. Then I walked past her, head high, shoulders back, exactly like Kwame taught me. Behind me, I heard someone start clapping. Then another person. Then another. Within seconds, the whole hallway was applauding as Ajoa stood there, red-faced and humiliated, tasting her own medicine for the first time. Over the next few months, everything shifted. My mother and I started having real conversations. Awkward at first, but genuine. She came to my next exhibition. She even bought a frame for my award certificate. Kwame and I became that couple, the unexpected pair that somehow made perfect sense. He started taking his studies seriously, discovered he had a gift for business, began planning a gallery that would showcase local Ghanaian artists. Our dreams started weaving together, creating something bigger than either of us alone. Kofi sent postcards from Paris, each one more beautiful than the last. We stayed friends, cheering each other on from across continents. The art club thrived. Kosi became president. New students joined, including some who'd been too intimidated before. We created a mentorship program for younger kids who loved art but didn't believe in themselves yet. And me. I kept drawing, kept growing, kept becoming. Because here's what I learned. Being invisible wasn't my destiny. It was just a chapter. The story I thought was about choosing between two boys was actually about choosing myself. About learning that strength doesn't mean never being afraid. It means being afraid and fighting anyway. 6 months after the exhibition, I stood in front of my bathroom mirror, the same one where Ajoa had once humiliated me, and I barely recognized the girl staring back. Not because I changed physically, but because the way I saw myself had transformed completely. I was Ama Owusu. Artist. Fighter. Survivor. Lover. Dreamer. I was seen. And I was just getting started. The girl who once couldn't look people in the eye now held gazes and didn't flinch. The girl who ate lunch alone now sat surrounded by friends who valued her voice. The girl who let bullies define her now defined herself. One evening, As Kwame and I painted together in the art room, him working on his business plan designs, me sketching our future gallery, he asked me something that made me pause. Do you ever miss the quiet? The invisibility? Being someone no one expected anything from? I thought about it. Really thought about it. No, I said finally, because I was never really invisible. I was just hiding. There's a difference. He smiled that smile that still made my heart race. When did you get so wise? When I had teachers who believed I was worth the effort. That night, I updated my sketchbook, the one Kofi had given me that felt like a lifetime ago. I flipped through pages chronicling my transformation. Tentative first sketches, bolder experiments, the studies for a scene. New pieces exploring what came after breakthrough. On the last blank page I wrote, to the girl reading this someday. Maybe it's my daughter, maybe it's a student, maybe it's a stranger who finds this in a dusty archive. Here's what I want you to know. You are not the stories people tell about you. You are not your worst moment or your biggest fear or the box others try to squeeze you into. You are the person you choose to become, every single day, in 1,000 small acts of courage. I was bullied. I was broken. I was invisible. But I fought back, not with fists or cruelty, but by refusing to disappear. By creating beauty when the world offered ugliness. By loving when it was risky. By standing up when it was easier to stay down. Your journey won't look like mine. Your battles will be different. But the truth remains the same, you matter. Your voice matters. Your art, whatever form it takes, matters. So fight, create, love, become. The world is waiting to see you. And trust me, you're worth seeing. Ama Owusu, artist, fighter, finally seen. 3 years later, Kwame and I opened our gallery in Accra's art district. The opening night was packed, collectors, artists, journalists, and regular people who just loved beauty. My mother stood by the entrance, greeting guests and telling anyone who'd listen about her daughter the artist. Kweku and Abina flew in from their respective cities. Kofi sent flowers from Paris with a card that said, "Told you so." But the moment I'll never forget was when a young girl, maybe 14, with downcast eyes and a beaten-up sketchbook clutched to her chest, approached me hesitantly. "Excuse me, Ms. Owusu. I saw your piece scene when I was younger. It changed my life. I'm being bullied at school, and my parents don't understand why I draw, but seeing your work made me think maybe I could be someone too." I knelt down to her level, taking her hands in mine. "What's your name?" "Akua. Akua, listen to me. You already are someone. You don't need permission to matter. You don't need to wait for the world to see you before you start believing in yourself." I gestured around the gallery. This started with a ruined sketchbook and a girl who learned to fight back. If I can do it, so can you. Her eyes filled with tears. Really? Really? And Akua, keep that sketchbook. Every mark on it is proof you survived. That you created anyway. That you didn't let them win. As she left, clutching a free ticket to our youth art program, Kwame wrapped his arms around me from behind. "Look at you, changing lives," he murmured into my ear. "We're changing lives," I corrected. "Together." And we were. Every young artist we mentored, every exhibition we hosted, every person who walked into our gallery and saw themselves reflected in the art, they were all part of the ripple effect that started when a broken girl decided to stop being invisible. That's the thing about transformation. It's never just about you. When you choose to be brave, to be seen, to fight for your right to exist fully, you give others permission to do the same. So here's my final message to you. Whoever you are, wherever you're watching from, maybe you're being bullied. Maybe your family doesn't understand. Maybe you feel invisible, insignificant, impossible to love. Maybe you're standing at your own crossroads, choosing between who you are and who others want you to be. Choose yourself, every single time. Not selfishly, but fiercely. Protect your dreams like they're the most precious things in the world, because they are. Find people who see you, who challenge you, who believe you're worth fighting for. And then become the person who does that for others. Your story doesn't end with your struggles. It begins after them. After you decide that being broken isn't the same as being defeated. After you realize that the people who tried to make you small only revealed how much room you had to grow. I was Ama Owusu, the invisible girl. Now I'm Ama Owusu, the artist, the fighter, the woman who refused to stay hidden. But more importantly, I'm Ama Owusu, the person who learned that being seen starts with seeing yourself. And trust me, once you really see yourself, once you accept every beautiful, messy, powerful piece of who you are, the whole world shifts. So stop hiding. Stop apologizing for taking up space. Stop letting fear or bullies or doubt write your story. Pick up your metaphorical pencil, whatever that means for you, and start creating the life you deserve. It won't be easy. There will be setbacks and heartbreak and moments when you want to quit. But on the other side of that pain is a version of yourself you can't even imagine yet. A version that's worth every battle. I promise you, you are so much more than you think you are. You are a masterpiece in progress. And the world desperately needs to see what you'll become when you finally stop hiding. Now go. Fight. Create. Love. Become. Your story is waiting to be told. And I can't wait to see what you paint with your life. If this story meant something to you, if Ama's journey resonated, if you're ready to step into your own power, I need you to do 3 things right now. First, subscribe to this channel so you don't miss stories that speak to your soul. Second, smash that like button if you believe everyone deserves to be seen. And third, this is the most important one. Comment below and tell me, what's the one thing you've been hiding from the world? What dream have you been too scared to chase? Share it. Declare it. Make it real. Because here's the truth. The moment you speak your dream out loud, you stop being invisible. You become seen. And that's where everything changes. Thank you for watching Ama's story. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being brave enough to imagine your own transformation. Now go become the person you were always meant to be. I'll see you in the next story.